Do you want to get started with digital art and illustrations without having to go to classes? Or are you about to get your logo or any of your business products designed or printed? If so, keep watching because I'm about to go over three very basic things that you should know about before getting started with digital art and illustrations, or if you're involved in any projects that have to do with Photoshop, Illustrator, or any of those softwares. Hi, I'm Kuhu. I've been doing digital art and illustrations for about a year now, and I've watched so many tutorials about how to use these different softwares and how to draw this and how to draw that. And this year, I finally did a course on Photoshop and Illustrator at my college. After that course, I realized that there are some very basic things that no one is really talking about. Well, unless you go to a designing school, then you know these things. But if you're like me and you don't, you probably most likely don't know about these things. And they're very basic, but they can help you improve your art a lot. So, let's get right into it. So, the first thing is the two different color modes. What are they? One is RGB, which stands for red, green, and blue. The second one is CMYK, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key, or more commonly known as black. So this is very basic now, but how do they make a difference in illustrations and design? This is how. If you're making something that is to be displayed on a screen, so say you're going to post it on a social media site, or you're going to show it on your phone, on a TV, then you use the RGB color mode. If you're going to get something printed, so say you're making flyers, posters, billboards, or you want to get something printed on a mug, on a pen, for this, you make the design in CMYK color mode. Number 2, the image resolution. So there are two things under image resolution. One is the DPI, which is dots per inch, and the second one is PPI, which is pixels per inch. So if you're making something that's going to be displayed on a screen, like your phone or on a TV screen, a digital screen, then it needs to be in 72 DPI or PPI. And if you're making something that you want to get printed, then you make it in 300 DPI or PPI. Now keep in mind that higher your DPI or PPI, the better the resolution, the quality of your image, of your design is going to be. Also, another thing to remember is that your DPI and your PPI always need to be the same. So if you're using 72 PPI, you need to get it printed in 72 DPI. If you're making something in 300 DPI, PPI, then you need to get it printed in 300 DPI. So let's take a look at an example. I made this drawing in Procreate. So when I zoom it in, now you can see the quality isn't all that good. It's good, but it can be better. It's not that clear. And I made the same drawing in 300 dpi so you can see the difference. So now when I switch it to 300 dpi, you can immediately tell that this is much more clear, the quality is much more better. So now you get it. The higher your DPI or your PPI, the better your quality will be. Number 3, raster and vector images. So what's the difference between them? A raster image is made of pixels, the same pixels that we're talking about in the case of DPI and PPI. A vector image is made of paths, and these paths are made by storing mathematical formulas. So don't worry, you don't have to do any maths. But how it works, how it makes a difference is in a vector image. So a vector software would be Illustrator, CorelDRAW. A raster software would be Photoshop or Procreate. So you draw a line in a vector-based program, so you draw a line in Illustrator. When you try to increase the line later, you won't lose any quality. But when you do the same in a raster-based program, you lose some pixels. So you lose some quality. But you can only shade and add shadows in a raster-based program. You can't do that in vector. So our photos that we take on a digital camera, they are raster. Now, a logo that we make or when we design products, those are done in vector programs. So let's take an example. This is a logo I made a few weeks back. This was the rough sketch that I made in Procreate. When I zoom it in, you can see the pixels. Even the text, take a close look at this so we can compare it with the vector. So now let's take a look at the vector image. I made this in Illustrator and this was my final logo. So when I zoom it in, you can see the lines are very clear, they're very smooth. The text too, it was good in Procreate, but in vector, it's even better. So the quality is much better, it's very smooth and very clear. So after seeing the difference between raster and vector, I hope you understand that why we make logos in vector and not in raster. Let's quickly summarize everything. So if you want to make a design that we want to display on a digital screen, we'll make it in RGB color mode with 72 ppi or dpi. If you want to get it printed, we'll make it in CMYK color mode and we'll have it in 300 ppi or dpi. The ppi and the dpi should always be the same, and the higher they are, the better our image quality will be. If you want to make a digital painting, have some shading in it, have some shadows in it, we do that in raster based programs which are Photoshop and Procreate. If you want to make something like a logo or design products, we do that in vector based programs which are Illustrator and CorelDRAW. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed and found this video useful. I'll be posting more such videos every week. And let me know in the comments if you want me to talk more about this in detail, or if you want to know more about the different font families that are there, or the different file types that we can save an illustration or a digital art in. I'll see you in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe and like.